his house ain't a home and he's losing sleep. Wife cold as steel, vibe off track. Ask me how the hell to get his edge back.
What's going on, guys? My name is Paul Bauer. I help men level up and get better with women, and I have a really good sponsored video for you today. My man sent an email in, and the subject line is, did waiting too long to text blow it? Did waiting too long to text blow it? How many of you guys out there are always wondering, like, how long is too long to text, or when should I text her back? Like, you guys ever wonder that? Let me know in the chat, or if you guys are watching the replay, drop a comment below. But his email says, hey, Paul, I had what I thought was a really solid first date last week. We met for drinks. The conversation flowed easily. We laughed a lot, and I walked her to her car after. I didn't try to kiss her because I wasn't sure if the timing was right, but overall, I thought it went well. brother, if you're relatively new to the podcast, you probably haven't tuned into some of my older dating content, but if for you old timers out there that are in the chat, what's my rule of thumb? Just drop it in the chat right now. What's the rule of thumb when it comes to kissing a girl? Just let me know what you think. Before I answer this, let's see who's in the chat right now. Nurse Chick's in that chat. She says, afternoon, gentlemen. She gets this. You know, she always gets this.
So naughty.
Yes, she is.
I'm gonna come.
Yes, if she plays her cards right. Nurse Chick got it. Nurse Chick knows what's up. Always go for the kiss. That's right. Always go for the kiss. Always. 100% of the time. This is how a lot of guys end up in the friend zone. Okay? Because you're too afraid to make a move. And when you're on the date and you're just having a good time and just being friendly, and you don't show her that you have romantic interest in her, she has no choice but to go, oh, I guess he's not that into me. I guess he would be a good friend, right? And then they put you in the friend zone. Guys put themselves in the friend zone by not making their intentions crystal clear, okay? Yes, Ray knows exactly what I'm talking about. Always go for the kiss, an excellent test of interest. That's right. It's the ultimate test of interest on a date, on the first date. It's the ultimate test of interest, okay? And this was one of my biggest mistakes right when I got divorced, okay? And a lot of you guys are probably in the same boat, right? You guys have been married 10, 15, 20 years, and now you're divorced and you haven't been dating. You haven't been dating in, 16, right? Like 11, 16, 21 years, probably. You haven't been like seriously out dating on the dating circuit, and the whole world's changed now. We're in a society where pretty much 70% of relationships start online now. You know what I mean? It's not the same as it was. And then you have the social media, which artificially inflates women's egos because they get all sorts of this fake internet validation of likes and, oh, you're so gorgeous and all this kind of crap online from simps that they have artificially inflated egos. And so who used to say this? I've heard it from several people, but we have a lot of 49ers out there, right? Where their egos, these are women that are 4s, but they have the egos of a 10 because of the artificial ego inflation that comes from like online dating and social media and stuff like that, right? It's a totally different world. So you have to learn how to navigate the modern way of dating. And there is a method to the madness. There is a way to be more successful in dating. And we'll get into some of that here in a little bit. But one of the things that has pretty much been around forever is at least going for a kiss and making your intentions known. Okay. But going back to what I was saying, a lot of you guys haven't been practicing. You haven't been dating it forever. You're floundering, right? This is where I was back in 2014. I found myself back on the dating circuit after having not been out dating in like 15 years or so. And I was waiting for like a written invitation to go in for a kiss. And this is after, Me Too movement and everything. So it's like, you don't want to you don't want to upset girls, right? You don't want to make them mad and stuff like that. But women are still women. Have always been women, and they will always be women, and they will always act like women. Okay. And they respond very well to confidence and boldness. And when you go for a kiss, you're showing her, hey, I'm like, I know I'm a catch, and I know I'm confident. I know, like, I like you. I want you. Okay. And that's confident and bold. And a lot of women respond very well to that. When I was out dating, this was fast forward after Red Pill Chick, when I had an epiphany about this. It was the first date I went on after Red Pill Chick. I didn't go for a kiss. And this chick texted me back, it's, after the date. And she goes, I'm really surprised you didn't try to kiss me. And I was like, what? Like, I saw no signs that she wanted to be kissed, right? I like I said, I was looking for something ridiculously obvious, like slap you in the face obvious. And of course, women don't do that because women are very subtle. They're just hoping you sort of pick up on things, right? And a lot of times too, on first dates, women are just as nervous as you are. So they're not putting out a lot of signals sometimes. They're just there, not sure what to expect either. But when you go for a kiss, it, like, everything becomes crystal clear, right? And when I after she said that, I thought back to my my now ex-wife, and when I first met her, and I was bold. I went for a kiss, and I didn't ask for permission. I just did it, right? And I did. All the girls in high school I dated, I would just do that. I would just go for a kiss, right? And I had this epiphany, like, dude, what are you doing? Just go for a goddamn kiss. If you like them, go for it. And after I started doing that, it was a game changer, dude. Like 99.9% of the chicks out there are just waiting for you to go for a kiss, and they melt in your hands. There was only like 2 chicks the entire time I was out spinning plates where it didn't work out well. And even then, it wasn't that big of a deal. There was one chick who, she still kissed me, but she was like, oh, we're doing this now. That was her reaction, right? And I was like, oh, okay. And then, we went out one more time after that. But after that, I was just like, so what are we're just going to fist bump, or like, what are we going to do? Right. And then I was basically just busting her ovaries at that point. But I didn't call her back out for a third date. Screw that. And then the other time was like during COVID. I took a chick to a park, which was my go-to during COVID, was, hey, let's meet up at the park. And like, I'll smuggle some wine in my backpack, and like, we'll sit by the lake or by the river or whatever park I would take them to. And we would just sit there and, like, I'd have like a little mini cooler or something. We'd have beers or something out by the park bench or something. Anyway, this chick, I went in for a kiss, and she turned her head. She goes, oh no, not in a first date. I go, no. Okay. Didn't call her back. Right. It tells you everything you need to know. It's not, I don't like to look at it like it's rejection. She's just telling you she's just not interested. She's telling you everything you need to know. No problem. Move on. Next chick, right? There's always another chick. So that was a big mistake right there, brother. Big mistake right there, not going for a kiss. Okay. And don't forget about timing. Forget about the timing. Like, what's timing anyway? Okay. Now, I will say this. There's certain body language chicks will do on dates when they're really into you, right? They'll, like, they'll be doing the preening thing. They'll look for excuses to touch you. That's why I recommend wearing like bracelets and stuff like that, because it gives them an excuse to reach out and go, oh, I like your bracelet. Let me touch it, right? Like, that's a woman showing interest in you. If she's looking to touch your bracelets or your knickknacks, if you have necklaces or whatever, give them an excuse. Okay. They will they'll look for a reason to touch you, like I said. And then what's another one? They, like, if you do the eye lips triangle move with your eyes, right? Which you look in like the left eye, the right eye, the mouth, and then just keep making that triangle. If at any point while you're doing that and you're talking, like, don't move your head like this. Move your eyes, just sort of, make eye contact, then shift your eyes over to her other eye, and then down to her lips like that with your eyes. Okay. If at any point you do that, she's looking at your lips, it's a pretty safe bet she wants to kiss you. You can kiss her in the middle of the date if you want. Okay. If she's getting all touchy feely and close to you in the middle of the date, kiss her in the middle of the date. Okay. You don't have to wait till the end of the date. But if she's not doing any of those things, at the very least, when you walk her to her car, go for it. All right. Just go for it. Don't be a wuss. Just go for it. Okay. So then he says, here's where I think I messed up. You messed up with a kiss. Here's where he thinks he messed up, though. Instead of texting her the next day, I waited and waited. My friends told me not to look needy, so I ended up waiting 5 full days before sending her a message. When I finally did, she never replied. Why do you think she never replied, guys? Why? When I finally did, she never replied. Now I'm kicking myself wondering if I ruined my chance by waiting too long. Well, one thing I'll say, brother, is worrying about one chick not texting you back tells me that you have sniper dating mentality and that you're going for one chick at a time. Because if you're dating multiple women and one chick doesn't text you back, you don't give a shit because you're texting all these other women. Okay. And that's one of the biggest problems guys do is they have this sniper dating mentality where they get a live one on the dating apps and they go all in on this one girl and they get tunnel vision on this one girl. And then when something like this happens and she doesn't text them back, now they're crushed. Now they're emailing dating coaches and stuff about it, right? God bless this guy. So what I would recommend to avoid this is keep your options open, okay? Even if you do meet a chick on a dating app or however you're sourcing your women, and you got one that you're interested in and you got a date set up with, keep sourcing new women. You want to keep that pipeline coming in, okay? It's like a sales funnel. You want to always keep new prospects coming in, okay? Otherwise, you're going to get a situation like this, and one chick's not texting you back, and now you're obsessing over it, okay? Stop that crap. Have options. Keep texting other women. Keep sourcing new women. Text multiple women at once, okay? So what do you say here? When I finally did, she never replied. Now I'm kicking myself wondering. So this kind of reminds me of the movie Swingers. You guys ever see the movie Swingers? To me, Swingers is the best breakup movie of all time. I love that movie. Like when you go through a breakup, you got to watch Swingers, man, because God, that Jon Favreau's character is so sad and pathetic during that, and you don't want to be that guy, right? You don't want to snap out of that. You don't want to be Jon Favreau's character. But they're all talking about how long to wait before calling a girl, right? Because he gets that one girl's number, and so he's like, well, so when do I call? When do I call her? Right? When do I call her? And this was before texting. That movie came out before texting, so you actually had to pick up the phone, call people. So the guys were like, 2 days. Yeah, you wait 2 days. And he goes, okay, so on Tuesday. And they're like, no. 2 days and then a day. And he goes, so 3 days? And they're like, yeah, that's about right. Or whatever. And he goes, well, how long do you guys wait? And they're like, 6 days. Like Vince Vaughn's character is like 6 days. We wait 6 days. Now, one of my holy trinity of dating books is Corey Wayne's How to Be a 3% Man. Okay. I highly recommend that book. Love that book. I don't think Corey likes me that much, but I don't care. Right. I still recommend his book. It's a good book. But one of the things that I found was ineffective in How to Be a 3% Man was he would say to wait a week. Right. So you go out with a girl and you have your date or whatever. And then he said, wait a week and then try to set the next definite date. And I found that waiting a full week, and so I'm thinking like 5 to 7 days is way too long. Okay. Especially if you really did have a good first date, you've got a lot of momentum built up. Okay. If you've gotten her from however you met her, right? Supermarket, got her number. Now you text her and then you set the date that way, or you get her number and you call her and you set the date that way, or you set the date on a dating app, or however you're sourcing women. Okay. There's basically 4 ways to meet women. Okay. There's dating apps, there's social media, there's social circle game, and there's cold approach. Okay. So however you're sourcing women and you get to the place where you actually meet her on a date, you've built up some momentum there. You probably had a decent date. This guy thought he had a decent one. He could have definitely improved, right? But you have some momentum there, okay? You want to keep that momentum going, and waiting 5 days, 7 days is waiting too long. That will absolutely kill momentum. And I think I mentioned it last week. Women have infinite options, especially on dating apps, right? They have infinite options. So if you don't keep that momentum going, somehow she's going to find a better option. Okay. And she's going to forget about you, and she's going to think you're disinterested. And then that's how you get ghosted. Okay. So, 2 days, 2 days, and then a day, 6 days, all that kind of crap is kind of funny. Corey's book, way too long. And I don't recommend that. If things really went well, don't kill that momentum. But you also don't want to come across as desperate, right? So Corey does have a point. You don't want to text him back immediately and try to set the date immediately. You definitely don't want to set the next date while on a date. Okay. She can do that if she's really, enjoying your company and all this kind of stuff. And she suggests going out again in a couple of days. No problem doing that. Okay. No problem. If you're available. But if you're spinning plates, you might not be available, right? But she can do that. You can't do that. It comes across as too needy when you try to set the date while on the date. It's a bad idea. So you don't want to come across as needy by reaching out right away. So you do have to wait a small period of time. And I found the absolute sweet spot for this. Okay. It's the best of both worlds here. And I got the idea by sort of by more of Robert Glover's advice from Dating Essentials for Men. But this is how it goes. Okay. You see her, you go for a kiss on the date, you tell her, have a good night. And then you go home and you don't text her. Okay. Now, if she says, text me when you get home so I know you got home, okay, just text her, hey, just want to let you know I got home. Okay. That's it. Right. You don't want to tell her you had fun. You don't want to tell her you had a terrible time. You just want to let her wonder. Okay. Otherwise, don't text her at all. Wait the next day. All right. And then wait the entire workday. So maybe around 6 p.m. the next day. This gives her the full next workday to be at work, thinking about the day, wondering about you. And if you're not in contact with a girl and she's thinking about you and wondering about you and imagining life with you, all this stuff is building heat, healthy emotional anticipation and tension. Okay. There's a method to the madness here. It's creating heat. Okay. Her not knowing how you feel creates mystery. Okay. It's been scientifically proven that women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. So if you don't text her right away and tell her you had a good time, she's wondering, did he have a good time? Right. And all this whole time, she's wondering about you. That hamster wheel's working in your favor, building healthy emotional anticipation and tension. She's more attracted to you. Okay. So then at 6 p.m., you reach out and just say, hey, by the way, just wanted to let you know I had a good time. And that's it. That relieves some of her anxiety. Okay. She's building up a lot of anxiety. Did he like me? Right. That relieves a little bit of that tension. But at the same time, you're not being so needy that you're like, hey, what are you up to? When are we going to go out next? Right. All this kind of stuff. Okay. You're just letting it marinate. Now you wait 2 to 3 days and then you reach out again. And a good way to reach out after that waiting period is with a callback to the date, something funny that you guys were talking about. Maybe sending a funny meme that you reminds you of her, whatever excuse you have to reach out after that 2 to 3 day mark. Okay. But you don't want to wait more than that. Okay. Because if you wait more than that, you're going to kill that momentum that I was talking about. Okay. So that's the sweet spot. You wait until the next day, say, hey, I had a good time. Just wanted to let you know. And then you let it marinate for another 2 to 3 days. Okay. So this guy goes on to say, part of me feels like she wasn't really that interested to begin with, but another part of me feels like maybe I tanked my shot by waiting. I don't know if I should keep reaching out or just move on. Well, texting's a lot like tennis, right? You send a text message, they either get back to you or they don't. Okay. It's their job to lob the ball back. And if you are sending multiple text messages, you come across as needy, validation seeking, all this unattractive behavior. Okay. So you don't want to be double text guy. You don't want to, like, if you've reached out and she didn't respond back, that tells you everything you need to know. We all have these things on us 24/7, especially women these days, right? Women are always on these damn things. Okay. Ask Nurse Chick. I'm always on this damn thing, but it's kind of my job. I'm a professional content creator and men's coach, right? So I'm constantly have to be on this damn thing, but women are always on this thing. And so if you text them and they're not getting back to you, they're choosing not to get back to you. All right. All right. If they wanted to, they would. Sending another message isn't going to get her to respond. Okay. It's not a good idea. Wait for her to respond. Okay. So don't keep reaching out. Source other women, spin your plates. Okay. If she finds that her options aren't panning out, she might reach back out later. Okay. You want to leave that door open. Don't be all butthurt by these chicks that aren't responding to you and stuff like that. Just leave the door open. All right. But I'll tell you what, a lot of the times you'll find that the chicks that aren't excited to hang out with you and they're not excited to text you back, and then like you don't hear from them for 3 months, and then all of a sudden they show up, right? Spin those bitches as plates, okay? Because to you, they're an option, and to her, you're an option. So just fucking treat her like an option, okay? Okay. So what did I write here? Okay, yeah. So he said, I feel like she wasn't that interested to begin with. Well, you would have known for sure if she was interested or not if you went for the kiss. Okay. Because like I said, it's the ultimate test of interest. Like she could be all friendly and nice and all this stuff, but when you go for a kiss and you can tell like with her body language, is it tense? Does it relax? Does she melt into your arms? Is she kind of like cringing? That tells you everything you need to know. Okay. Like, don't get mad at that. Just it's you testing for interest, right? You only have a couple of jobs, right? You want to test for interest and test for their ability to follow your lead. And then you want to facilitate fun and fuck, right? That's it, right? You have 5 things. So when the ultimate test of interest is the kiss test. If you go for a kiss, you'll know if she likes you or not. Okay. And if she doesn't like you, no problem. There's 4 billion other bitches out there. Okay. So then I said, what else did I say here? You might have blown it waiting the 5 days. Okay. But I'd rather you reframe that. Don't think of it that you blew it. I don't like that. I don't like you guys out there going, oh, did I mess up? Did I blow it? Stop saying that. Okay. You didn't blow it. You learned that waiting 5 days is too long. Okay. You want to treat dating like a science experiment. All right. You tested the 5-day hypothesis. It didn't work out. You can't raise that to a theory. Okay. So 5 days is too long. You learned, all right? It's a learning experience. Frame it like that. Don't frame it like you blew it. Frame it like you learned something. Okay. And if she really liked you, if she really truly liked you, 5 days would have been fine. In fact, she would freak out that you finally reached out, right? She'd be like, oh my God, oh my God, like whatever women do. Nurse Chick sent me this video of this guy acting like a white girl getting ready to go to Starbucks for Starbucks drinks. And he's like, ah. Oh man. Anyway. So if she likes you, you got to understand this, like women who like you, they make things easy for you. Okay. They open doors for you. So all these rules that I talk about, they really go out the window for women who are truly into you. Okay. You can fuck up so bad with a girl who's into you. She'll let a lot of things slide if she really likes you. Okay. Just know that. So clearly, this chick is not that into you. Okay. That no problem. There's 4 billion other women out there. That's her problem, right? Not your problem. So he asked, so did I blow it? Or is this just a part of dating today? Any advice would help me out. So like I said, get the idea of blowing it out of your vocabulary. Only women blow it with you. Okay. Not the other way around. You have to be the buyer, not the seller. So if you're thinking in the terms of, did I blow it? Did I mess this up? You're still in the mentality of being the seller and trying to qualify to these women. You want to change that frame. You want these women qualifying to you, and you're just seeing if you like them or not, right? Do I like them? Yes. Okay, cool. Then I'm going for a kiss. Do I like her? No. Okay, well then it's over after one drink. Best of luck in your dating. Okay. That's how you need to frame dating. Otherwise, you're constantly going to be frustrated. You're always going to be like, fuck this shit. I hate dating. Dating's such a grind and dating sucks. And these bitches out here and these modern women. And then you're going to get all black pill or whatever. Stop that. Be the buyer and be like, just first dates, chemistry test. Do I even like her or not? Okay, cool. She seems like a cool chick. Yeah, she's kind of attractive. All right, cool. I'm going to go for a kiss. All right. Go for a kiss. And then treat every date like a dating experiment, or just like or not a dating experiment, like a science experiment. Treat every date like a science experiment. And you're just collecting data. Okay. Was she receptive to this? Did this joke work? Right? Was my body language good? Was I letting her do 80% of the talking, or was I running my mouth too much? Right? You want to take little notes and data points and try to figure out what works most consistently. Okay. And have fun with it. Right? We're going to talk about that stuff more tomorrow, about having more fun with this stuff. Okay. So, and then reframe all this stuff as a learning experience, right? Like I said before. But most importantly, man, one of the things besides waiting too long, always go for a kiss. I really want to pound that home with everybody that's watching right now. Always go for a kiss. Okay. And then remember to, that next time, try the sweet spot out. Okay. Just wait until 6 p.m., like right after work the next day, and just let her know, hey, I had a good time, and then leave it at that. And then reach out again in 2 to 3 days and try to set that next definite date. And you also got to understand that when you reach out again, you're basically starting from scratch. You've got to understand that you're basically you want to treat it just like you did the first time you interacted with her. You want to banter no longer than 10, 15 messages before you find a segue to set that next definite date. You don't want to set dates out too far in advance. Okay. If you set a date out more than 3-4 days tops in advance, the flake rate goes up. Okay. The further out you set the date, the flake rate goes up. So that means if you can't set that next date within 3 days, 4 days max, the next time she's available isn't for 6 days. Tell her, okay, cool. Well, I'll reach out in 3 days to check your schedule, but I have a great place that we can go to. Okay. And then don't fucking talk to her for 3 days, and then reach out again in 3 days, because like you said you would, and then see when she's free to get together. Right. And the process starts all over again. You got to banter 10, 15 messages till you find a segue to set the next definite date. And then, hey, you still available on this day? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm still available. Great. Meet me at this place at this time. Right. Or, hey, where's your house? Let me come pick you up this time. Okay. That's how you do it. All right. That's everything in a nutshell. I wrote all of this stuff in my first book. I have a link pinned in the chat there, but I'll drop it again. My book on this is called Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18. Okay. Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18. It's got more than just dating and relationship stuff in there. I talk about investments. I talk about fitness in there. I talk about mindset, law of attraction, a big law of attraction guy. I talk about all that stuff in there, but the longest chapter in the book is on dating and spinning plates. And I really broke down soup to nuts everything I know about dating in a very chronological, sort of easy to follow way that explains the method to the madness and the psychology behind all this stuff. So if you haven't read my first book yet, definitely get it. It's also available on Audible if you like listening to audiobooks. The late great R.P. Thor did the narration for me on that. It was my first book, and God bless and rest his soul that he did that for me, because I was not ready to narrate my own books yet, and he stepped up. So grab that book on Amazon or Audible. I think that'll help you out. That'll explain the texting hypothesis, right, and the texting theory and all that kind of stuff, and it'll break it down into a way that's easily accessible that you can go out and test yourself. Okay. Other than that, that's all we got for this episode. There's not a lot of people chatting right now, or at least, let's see. The last person that sent something was brother Will Ringer. Good afternoon, y'all. What's up, Will? So that's all we got. Tune into the podcast tomorrow. We're going to be talking about how being playful is game. Okay. Play is the essence of game. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow, and how it's all this stuff. If you really want to get good with women, you got to have a good time. You got to be able to lighten up, have a good time, and have fun with all this kind of stuff. And that's going to help you do much better with women. Okay. So tune into that tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We will see you guys then. Ooh, that's the wrong one.